everyone, it's Lisa here, and I got tagged in a video from Scrap Saturday, and I guess there's a tag going around and you answer 15 questions, and it's supposed to like kind of tell you a little bit more about you as a scrapbooker, just because it is a really close-knit group of people that we have here. So I think it was Tuesday Hubbard and Robin's nursing journey that started it. Anyway, so I have done a few videos like this previously. When Sandra and I go see each other, we usually get questions and we usually answer them. So I kind of have answered a few of these. So I'm just going to kind of burn through some of the ones that I've kind of already answered. So I'm just going to jump right into it. Number one, where did you begin, or when did you begin scrapbooking? I think I've said this before. I started, and I think it was about 2007. My sister and brother-in-law came out from Manitoba, and we went on a huge trip to Jasper, a day trip, and I took tons of pictures, and I'm like, I just have no feasible way of keeping these in like little shoe boxes, which was where I used to keep everything. And I had like memorabilia and stuff like that. I wanted to kind of make like a more creative outlook for these pictures that I had taken. So I don't even know how I came across it, but anyway, I decided I was just gonna make a book, and I don't even know if I like YouTubed it or I seen somebody do it. But we did have a local scrapbook store that was open at the time, and I was shopping there for products and such. So that's kind of where it all started. Where do you scrapbook? I scrapbook in my very, 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 very messy craft room. So I'm going to show you. So it looks clean over here. Then we're going to turn. Looks pretty clean. Oh my goodness. Here comes the mess. So this is real life scrapbooking for me. I have like 1,001 projects on the go. I do lots of work, which I'll probably explain that in a little minute, but this is real life. So I've got messes on the floor, but I've got a whole bunch of projects that I have been working on, and I just haven't had time to finish one project at a time. Like I'm waiting for glue to dry, so I'll put that aside, and then I'm waiting for something else to dry, so then I'll put that aside. So my room is a mess, and I haven't had time to clean it because I've been busy with work, and then I've been helping my husband on the side. He does some contract work on the side. Right now we're doing a kitchen, so the last couple of weekends I've been there helping him. But anyway, blah blah blah. What time of the day do you scrapbook, and why? So typically, not lately, but typically after supper, I come downstairs and I try to get a little creative. Right now it's the summertime, so right now I try to do after supper. Usually Sandra and I will Skype at least once. Well, we try to do at least once a week, to anywhere from 2 to 3 times a week is usually the norm. And then we just have a binge of scrapbooking and stuff like that. Mostly talking, but lots of scrapbooking going on. So that is where a lot of my process is going on, is usually in the evening. Saturdays in the summertime typically are a lot of outside, like yard work, like cutting the grass and such. So kind of like boring blah 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 stuff. But in the winter time, like when school starts, it'll be different this year because my daughter graduated, so I don't know what it'll be like this year. She was a lot more active than my son was, so I'm not sure if that will change at all. But usually in the winter time, I do go to Zumba on Mondays and Wednesdays. So I typically do that. So that kind of, puts a couple days off of scrapbooking. But on Zumba days, because it starts at 7 and I get off work at 5, they recommend that you don't eat a huge meal before you exercise, because otherwise you feel like throwing up, and been there, done that. So usually what I do is I'll make supper for everybody, and because the smell of the food drives me crazy, I'll run down here and work on a layout for like even if it's 45 minutes or an hour while in between while I'm waiting to go to Zumba, it seems to be enough time for me to get stuff done, and then I'll eat when I come home. But yeah, that's kind of how it goes. But in the winter time, anytime after December, usually on the weekends, I'm scrapbooking just because of the way life is. We don't usually do a lot on the weekends just because we're in Canada and it's a little cold sometimes. So typically on the weekends, I do a lot of my scrapbooking. Okay, so 4, what is your favorite go-to product or tool? My go-to product lately, I'm not really sure. I'm just looking around. My go-to product, definitely, this one's empty. My go-to product is definitely this stamp tape runner. It's Tombow stamp runner, and it's the dot adhesive. It's the pink one. I'm out of it, by the way. But it works fantastic, especially if you have little tiny die cuts. Rather than fiddling around with liquid glue, you can just run it across the whole thing, and it only puts glue where your paper or your embellishment is, and it holds really well. So that's my go-to product, or my go-to tool, I guess. My go-to product would have to be, I don't know. I like everything. I think stamps would probably be my go-to product. Maybe not. You know what my go-to product lately is anything mixed media. Like, I bought these, so those are fun and new. These are golden fluid acrylics, so or high flow acrylics. And I really like playing with those, but I'll talk about that more in a minute. So I would say anything mixed media lately seems to be my go-to products. What product or tool do you regret buying? I know exactly which one. Actually, I don't even know if Sandra would have said that. I did buy a Big Shot Pro, and I did actually end up selling it, and I never used it. So I used it, I think, once or twice. But this little gadget right here, I bought, and I think I used once, and I don't like it. It's the Distress It All by Zutter, and you're supposed to like distress your edges, and I'm not into that anymore. I don't do the whole distress look. I used to do it a lot and make tons of mini albums and such, and I'm not into all that anymore. I like different. I'm just not into that stuff. But anyway, yes, that's a huge regret. At least that wasn't an expensive one. Like, I bought a paper trimmer and it was expensive. It was probably a little bit too much money for what I probably needed it for, but it cuts chipboard really well. So if I'm looking at doing a mini album, it cuts the paper awesome. So, what's your style of scrapbooking? Kind of a little bit of everything. I would say I don't really do simple very well, because to me simple, it's not boring. It's just, I don't know how to do simple. Like, I love Sandra's simple style. She's done a couple of layouts that are just very simple and clean, and I love it, and I wish I could do it. But when I do it, it almost feels like it's missing something. So I just don't know if I just don't have the right formula for it or what. I've done a couple layouts that I really like that are simple, but not too many. Typically my style is lots and lots of layering. Just heads up, this one's not finished, but this is kind of like the look that I kind of go for. Is you got lots of like little stickers and layers, and you know, some stenciling going on, you know, stuff like that. I just like the layered look, but then I do like the mixed media look, and I have done a couple mixed media layouts, and I really like that look. So I kind of think that you need to just kind of try new things, and you know, just because you're in your comfort zone doesn't mean that you can't try doing different things to see if you like it or if you don't like it. I mean, what does it hurt? It's just paper, and Lord knows we have enough paper. So yeah, so I say experiment. I would say that's my style. Experimentation. That's a good style. So how do you get your ideas for layouts? There's a couple times where I have seen something and I really want to kind of take something out of it. I did a layout not that long ago for a Saturday stash side with Patty Sandberg, and it was on buttons, and I actually had seen this embroidered button piece. It was a framed piece in the quilting store where my daughter works, and it was just a clean heart with buttons sewed down, and I thought it was amazingly beautiful. And I actually did a layout inspired by that. So I would say I get a lot of my inspiration from out in the world, like something that I'll see that I just want to try, or I'll get an idea in my head and I'll be like, yeah, that would work out. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't, but for the most part, it's just something that I see and I want to try. I do get inspiration from other YouTubers out there, and I have kind of put my own little twist on something that they have done. If I see something different and I'm like, oh, I want to try that, I'll kind of like make a mental note and then I'll try it out. And sometimes Sandra will be like, why don't you try it like this? And I'm like, yeah. So I think Sandra is like my muse for inspiration, because I'll have an idea and she'll be like, oh, you should try this. So Sandra's like my muse, and I do get inspiration from other places, but she just kind of helps me out. So she's the bomb. What else? Other YouTubers you watch. Okay, so I have a list of YouTubers that are crafty and then non-crafty. So I'm just going to burn through some people real quick that I watch on YouTube. So Kitty Scrapper, Tuesday Hubbard, of course, I should just go the SNL design team. So anybody that has or is on SNL design team, I watch all those girls. Mercy Tierra, I used to watch Two Peas in a Bucket, but sadly no more. Christina Warner, Jennifer McGuire, who else do I watch? The Ranger products, I watch them. Sorry, what is his name? Imperfect Impulses. There's Yellow, oh goodness, Yellow, can't remember, she's mixed media. CC Designs, or CC something, I can't remember. But yeah, I watch a whole bunch of different varieties. Kathy Order, because she has like the mini albums. Sometimes I get good ideas from her. So yeah, just certain little things. So that's just kind of the crafty side. Then I have the non-crafty side, which is just like usually food. So there's Just Eat Life. These ones are cooking ones. Hyla's Cooking, I think it is. Oh my goodness, she's amazing. I think she's freaking awesome. She's hilarious. Her food is awesome. Her videos are great. Just Eat Life is really good too. Let me just see, who else do I usually see on YouTube? Trying to think. Oh my goodness, there's just too many. I can't find any more. But yeah, I watch like a ton. Oh, I think I had some listed in my thing. I can't find it anymore. I have my 30 days of list down there, and it's too far away for me to go get. But anyway, I wrote down a whole bunch of YouTube channels that I watch. So yeah, so I've got a couple there that I do watch. Do you have a monthly budget, and how often do you buy? So I used to have a budget, which totally got blown every month. And I used to have, I think it was about $150-ish a month for scrapbooking supplies. And that sounds really high, except for the fact that because I live in Canada, I have to pay for shipping, and shipping is quite high here. So I kind of have to budget in for shipping. So typically it's about probably $120 worth of product. but the shipping on top is anywhere from $40 to $50-ish. So I would always kind of have that in as a buffer. However, lately I don't subscribe to anything other than my Freckle Fawn kit, and I think my Freckle Fawn kit to ship up here I think is around $45-ish, and that's the only thing that I get as for a subscription. As for shopping, actually I found I don't shop nearly as much as I used to. I think I'm just getting overwhelmed with product, and I would rather spend my money on a couple other different places right now, and I'll tell you that in a minute. But yeah, I just kind of found I have enough. I'm kind of up to here with stock, or like stock inventory in my room, and I'm just done. So yeah, I don't really buy as much as I used to. I would say I probably spend, I don't know, maybe $75 a month on scrapbooking. And then when it comes to mixed media, I don't go to the city very often, but when I do, I will go to the art supply store in Edmonton, and I will splurge on quite a bit of art supplies, but I do have a list, so it definitely cuts down. So I don't know, I think if you average it out, it's probably about $80 a month. Mixed media, how have you taken a class or do you just experiment? So yes and yes. So yes, I have been taking classes. I've actually been taking the Donna Downey 48 weeks class, and I would say if you are a beginner art journaler, probably not the best class, because it is maybe more intermediate to advanced. I have learned quite a few new techniques in her class though, so I would say if you're an intermediate to advanced art journaler, I would say it's probably a really good class for you to take. So I'm just going to share my journal with you so far. So I've only done 2. So I've got this one, which is gorgeous. I mean, I love this page. And there was supposed to be a stencil that you had, and I wasn't going to go buy it or wait for it. So I just hand drew my own little window in here. And then I've done this one recently. I'm not sure if you can see, but there's some sparkle on these little white pieces right in here. And this is start of week 3. But because I never had any products, I would make a page that I could. Then when I would go to the city, I would take the next supplies list and get like, say like 2 of the weeks that I need the supplies for. And then that would kind of keep me going, because that first page probably took me about a week. This one took me probably about a week to make. I just did it in between making pages and such. So, and then as for experimenting and stuff, I have this smaller journal, and just to give you an idea, these are both of the Dilutions journals, so you can see like there's the difference. And this one I kind of started out doing more like, didn't take any classes, just started playing. I'll just show you through real quick. And didn't really see anything. I would watch videos and I'd be like, oh, I like that, and then I would try it out. So a lot of this is just experimentation on my own and trying things out and seeing what I liked and what I didn't like, learning how things work together. So, you know, I really like this page. So yeah, there's certain times where it worked out great and then not so much. Like this one turned out awesome. This one I like. And then, you know, some of them aren't that great. But I think this is all part of art journaling. It's just experimentation. And then towards the back, I didn't really do, I like this one because this one's for Mary Tran. So I don't really, oh, I love this one. I don't really have an idea when it comes to this. Lately, I've just been, this one's just gessoed over, but I've just been playing and just dripping, and, you know, if I have leftover paint in a book, I'll just start, you know, putting stuff in there as a layer just to give you a foundation, and then you're kind of not really wasting. So that's kind of what I've been doing. Okay, so that's my mixed media, and that was a really long spiel, but It's more of a share. Do you have a photo printer at home or do you print elsewhere? So I have a Canon Selfie CP900 and I really, really like it, and I got it from Sandra for Christmas, and it was the best Christmas present I could ever possibly have, because I hate, and I don't like to use the word hate very often because it's a very strong word, I hate printing at Walmart in town. And I wish I could tell you why, but the story is like forever long, so I'm just not going to get into it. I'm just going to tell you I hate printing at Walmart. However, if I do go on a big trip or something to that effect where I have lots and lots of pictures, then I will print them out at Walmart, just because I have no choice. There's nobody else in town besides Walmart for a 1 hour photo. I did get some pictures from Black's Photography, but they took probably about 2 weeks to get, but they are better quality. So yeah, so I'm kind of fit to be tied on that part. 12. Have you ever sold anything you made, and how much did you charge? So yes, I did. Hang on one second. Okay, so I made this album, which I took the stuff out of here, I think. I had little stuff in the pockets, but I put that into another album. But I made this, 2009. And all it was very, very simple. I designed all these little, little pockets. Basically what it is, I think it's a 6x12 piece of paper, and then I just scored it 8 inches and then folded it up and glued on the side, and it made a pocket. But I put date left, time left, mode of transportation, time arrived at destination, favorite memory from today, places we stayed at, what we did when we first arrived, interesting facts from today. And then all I did, that was the first day, and then I have like day 1, and then I put park attended, time arrived at park, things we did, things we bought, favorite things we did, favorite food, interesting facts or special memories of today. So I did that for each and every day. So that was pretty much just a blank one, and then just printed it out. And then I had the last day, and then I had all the information there. Anyway, I did a video on this, and a lady had emailed me through YouTube, and she actually asked if I would make her one. So I did make her one, and it was very, very similar to this one. And she emailed me back, and she said that it was amazing, and she loved it. So she used it for their Disney trip, and I think I charged, can't remember, I think it was $40, which I felt was really, really high. But my husband, he says your time has to count for something. So his rule of thumb is, if you're ever interested in you know, selling something online, is whatever your materials are, double the cost of your materials to sell it, and then it'll kind of help justify. Now I know this was a lot of extra, there wasn't really a lot of paper involved. It was a lot of, you know, stamps and such. But that's just kind of where you're going to have to figure out if you need to add a little bit more, you know, for pricing. But that's just my own personal experience with how he does his contracts work on the side. So, do you have a favorite technique? I would say like mixed media right now. I'm into like a lot of experimentation. I don't really know if I have a favorite technique. Probably just using stencils with modeling paste or sprays or mist or something like that, just to add texture into the background. I'd say that's probably one of my favorite techniques. Do you have other hobbies besides scrapbooking? If I do, I don't really know. I like taking pictures. Oh, my husband and I are hunters. Sorry for all the people who like all the pretty Bambis and everything like that. But we are hunters, so we do that as a hobby in November. What else do we do? We go fishing, but not really much this year. And no camping this year. Usually we go camping, but we don't have a holiday trailer anymore. So yeah, I think pretty much on plate right now is just scrapbooking. I have others, but they're just not really anything that I'm doing right now, so that could change. So fifth, the last one, is what's good to buy for the beginner scrapbooker. So I would say buy a really, really good pair of scissors. Either a long pair like this, depends on if you can cut fussy, like if you like fussy cutting. I guess if you wouldn't know what fussy cutting is like if you wanted to cut out a detail. Say for example, if this was a piece of paper and you wanted to cut out that flower, that would be like fussy cutting around it. But if you're not going to be into that, I would just say buy a really good quality pair of scissors and a really good paper trimmer. You can spend a lot of money on paper trimmers really quickly because it gets frustrating when they don't work well. So I would say ask around and find out what the best paper trimmer is. I have spent a lot of money on paper trimmers, and in my opinion, I would say the Stampin' Up! One is really, really good. I think that's probably my favorite one so far. It seems to cut really, really straight, and that's the other big thing is when they don't cut straight, it's a real pain in the butt. Then I would say a dry adhesive and a wet adhesive. So a dry adhesive, I would say, is this Tombow Runner, because you can do so many things with it. And then a wet adhesive, I would say Glossy Accents, just because it holds like anything. It holds anything. So that would be what I would say. A black, then if you're into kits, like get a scrapbook kit, even if you picked up like a complete kit from a scrapbooking store, like they have like the fancy pants kits, they have like all the stickers and then some embellishments and stuff like that in it. Or if you wanted to just buy one of the what is it, like Studio Calico kits, I think you can buy one if they are available. Buy one of those and just try it out and see if you like it. That way you're not invested too much into it, and you can definitely get away with just, you know, liquid glue for the first little while with, you know, scrapbooking if you just wanted to try it out. And then I would say that's pretty well it. There's a couple other things you could add into if you wanted to get a little bit more advanced. Like I would say find a very generic stamp set, something that's got a couple images and some images that are some words that are kind of very basic, like something that would have, you know, like I use a lot of this one, like the good stuff, this one here. Something that's just very basic shapes and it's got a few words. So, and then some black ink. I would just stay with black for the first little while and just see how it goes. So that's, I don't know, I think that's it. I think that's all I have to say. So yeah, that's all I can think of, people. I'm sorry. Not very exciting today. Okay, as for who I am going to tag, I'm going to tag Vintage Gal 18, who is Alice Monique, and Korean Crafts 83, and Scrapologist, who also used to be Kappa Mia, and who is Carla. I always feel like she's like Prince. Remember who is like Prince was now changed his name to the artist formerly known as Prince. So yeah, she's going to be called the artist formerly known as Kappa Mia. So anyway, thanks everybody for watching. I'll see you guys soon. Bye.